Hello everyone, welcome to NASCAR News Kid. NASCAR head back to Sonoma Raceway once again, and a familiar name won the pole and the race once again. It was no surprise at all, and there was carnage, crashes. We'll get to all that in just a moment. Before we get to it, I'll remind you, hit that notification bell and subscribe button so you never miss any of our NASCAR content. Also, don't forget to hit that like button as well. If you love this channel, love these videos, be sure to hit that as well. But anyway, let's get right into it. Let's start out with a recap as we always do. Shane Van Gisbergen takes the pole. What a surprise. I mean, he won the pole for Mexico, won that race, won the pole for Chicago, won that race, won the pole for Sonoma, and went on to win this race. But what else happened during the race? Let's get right into it. So, like I said, he won the pole, and then he pretty much dominated the first stage. There wasn't that much chaos in stage one, at least. Probably the cleanest stage of the whole race. And then, towards the end of the stage, 3 to go, 4 to go, drivers start flipping the stage, pitting before the stage end, so they could get track position at the end of the stage, or in stage 2. Chris Buescher, Blaney, Larson, Bell, Allmendinger, Gibbs, Elliott, Reddick, and the list goes on, all come to pit. Shane Van Gisbergen, the leader, would pit with 3 to go with Byron and Briscoe, who were up there with him. But Ross Chastain, trying to make something out of the day, would stay out and go on to win stage 1. Cars that stayed out would pit, including Ross Chastain, and Shane Van Gisbergen would get the lead back. He'd lead the field back to green. The stage 2 started out with some chaos and some controversy. Chase Briscoe, I don't know, I'm saying Blaney, I'm on Briscoe's side with this, as I always am. I mean, I have the Briscoe hat, so I have to be with Briscoe on this, but others will disagree because I'm a little biased maybe on this one. But Blaney was upset with Briscoe for squeezing him and getting him in the dirt or whatever, and Blaney got loose and lost 3 spots, was 4th, and now 7th after that. So he was kind of frustrated with that. Also, the carnage continued. AJ Allmendinger spun, he got back going. Nemechek spun, he got back going. So chaos kept going on, and it didn't end there. Ross Chastain trying to outbrake Daniel Suarez in one of the final turns, and he would send it and hit Suarez and cause him to spin. So not good for that either. And then that was pretty much the chaos for stage 2. The drivers trying to flip the stage, McDowell, Reddick, Bell, and others would come in. Buescher, Byron, Shane Van Gisbergen coming in on the last chance he could. Briscoe as well, and Blaney. Chastain also. But Kyle Larson would stay out trying to make something out of his day, just like Ross Chastain did in stage 1. But except this time, it wasn't good enough, because Shane Van Gisbergen came out right behind Kyle Larson. Fresher tires, he battled Larson. Maybe a little contact, maybe a little rough, but he got back by Kyle Larson and won stage 2, even pitting. He was pitting before the stage end, and he still won the stage. How rare is that? I mean, that's just how good he was. That's how far back Kyle Larson was. And past Kyle Larson, even Larson trying to stay out, didn't even pit yet, and won stage 2. So that was actually pretty impressive on the day. Kyle Larson, Kyle Busch, Bubba Wallace, and others who stayed out before the stage 2 ended would come to pit, and Shane Van Gisbergen would get the lead back and lead the field back to green. But it wouldn't go for long, because Noah Gragson would get spun out of turn 3A, but he'd get back going. Chris Buescher would get into Ryan Blaney a few laps later, and that would actually cause a caution because Ryan Blaney would almost hit a concrete barrier, and Bubba Wallace and Denny Hamlin would spin as well out of like turn 2, turn 3 as well. So chaos that brought out the caution. Almost hit a concrete wall. That would have been bad. But Michael McDowell, Austin Cindric, Daniel Suarez, Ty Dillon, and a couple others that were farther back in the pack would pit. Everyone else would stay out. They would think they'd make it to the end of the race. We'll see what happens to them a little later. Shane Van Gisbergen would lead the field back to green. Ryan Preece would start the final pit cycle. Besides the McDowell, Cindric, Suarez, Ty Dillon situation, he would pit with 31 to go. Bowman, Buescher, Reddick, and Logano would follow him and pit the next lap. And then it'd start a whole cycle. Chase Elliott, Brad Keselowski, A.J. Allmendinger pit that lap. Then Briscoe the next lap. And then that draw SVG to pit road with 27 to go. And Michael McDowell would soon take the lead. Being good on fuel confirmed there, with only 2.5 seconds ahead of Shane Van Gisbergen. So not super far ahead of second place there. And SVG would gain that much time. He gained in 6 laps from lead to lead. Leading coming in the pit road, leading coming out, only 6 laps in between. So Shane Van Gisbergen would take the lead with 26 to go, and he would lead pretty much until lap 14 to go, And Cody Ware would bring out the caution once again to basically change the end of the race, like in Chicago. He brought out the final caution, very controversial in Chicago, by hitting the tire barrier, and then he bring out another caution, losing a tire, which obviously wasn't his fault, but come on, Cody Ware. Come on, Cody Ware's crew, you gotta get this together. And that would make for an interesting choice. Come to pit road or stay out. SVG, Briscoe, and some others stay out. The top 13... Chase Elliott, Michael McDowell, Gibbs, and multiple others pit. 13 cars stayed out, and now you think that's not that much. Shane Van Gisbergen would lead the field to green, and then there'd be another caution. Just what those cars that pitted didn't want. They wanted it to run green, so they have time to pass all those cars. They don't want the laps wind down because of cautions. And then a caution came out because Noah Gragson gets loose, going into the S's, and spins out and gets hit by Ryan Preece. Can't get back going, and that causes a caution. So that would change a lot, giving less time for Chase Elliott and his whole group to gain positions. Shane Van Gisbergen would lead the field back to green, and there would be another caution. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. would spin out in the S's and hit the tire barrier in the S's and break it, causing a caution. Once again, that only helped Shane Van Gisbergen, Chase Briscoe, William Byron, Chris Buescher, all those guys that were up there. Shane Van Gisbergen would lead the field back to green again. Kyle Larson and Ryan Blaney got together on the restart, but, Larson hit Blaney, and it looked like we were going to have another caution, but no, they got back going, luckily, and Chase Elliott tried his best to run down Chase Briscoe and SVG. Got in the dirt a little, kind of messed up his chance at getting close to Shane Van Gisbergen, you could argue that, but nonetheless, the ultimate road course king, does better than Jeff Gordon now in road courses. So, can we confirm he's the best on road courses? He wins in Sonoma. Great work by Shane Van Gisbergen. All around, great job. Pole to victory, 3rd time in a row on a road course. That is incredible. Just shows his level that he's matching Jeff Gordon in those numbers. So, great job by Shane Van Gisbergen. 2nd place for Chase Briscoe. Shout out to him. Great job. Was running like 2nd or 3rd, 4th, 5th, basically all day. I think the lowest I saw him not in a pit cycle was like 6th or 5th. So that just showed how good his car was all day. Just could not match the ultimate road course king, SVG. A driver who maybe could have if he had more time without all those cautions in the end. Chase Elliott comes home 3rd. Really good job for him making up all those positions. Was 14th on the restart after pitting, so he made up some spots but just did not have the time. Michael McDowell. This is an interesting story. Pitted, I believe, after the start of Stage 3 Chaos. And basically felt like he was gone on fuel. Then he pitted with Chase Elliott, that whole group, after the Cody Ware caution, and ends up fourth. They were thinking it was going to be a top 10 day. It was a top 5 day. So good job by that whole group. Inspire Motorsports. Fifth for Christopher Bell. A really solid day. Was pretty quiet, I'd say. Another driver who was quiet, Tyler Reddick, finishes sixth. Seventh for Ty Gibbs. A pretty decent day for him. Eighth for William Byron. Like the third, fourth, fifth car on speed all day, so decent result by him. Ninth for Logano, who started like 22nd or something, so good job by him. Another good job for Kyle Busch, coming back in the end, just like Chicago. Got spun and got back going, but finishes 10th, so good job. A good rally in the end by him. 11th for Keselowski, who started 21st. Made it up in the top 10 at one point, so good job by him. All at RFK cars were up in the top 10 at one point, so good job by them. 12th for Ryan Preece, good job, even though he got a little damage, kind of bent the front toe link on that car. He limped home, but had enough speed to compete and stay in it for a top 15, so good job by him, finishing 12th. 13th for Josh Berry, really decent day by him. 14th for Suarez, who got spun by his teammate. 15th for Justin Haley, the Xfinity fastest lap, by the way. So good job by him. Some notables, Chris Buescher, 16th, was like fourth, fifth, basically a top 10 car, all day. 17th for Ty Dillon. Great job by him. We'll talk about the matchups in a second, so stay tuned for that. 18th for AJ Allmendinger, really good day until he got spun. 19th for Alex Bowman, loses to Ty Dillon. Very, very sad for him. 20th for Denny Hamlin, was typical Denny Hamlin at road courses. Not even in it. 24th for Ross Chastain. 28th for Nemechek. 35th for Kyle Larson. Once again, getting caught up in a wreck. And 36th for Ryan Blaney. So, really, really, really great race overall. I mean, if you don't like domination, it wasn't for you. But if you like good racing, aggressive racing, for sure, this was for you. A race for you, for sure. Anyway, let's talk about the matchups before we get into 36-4-36 here. So, the final four for the matchups going into Dover will be Ty Dillon versus John Hunter Nemechek and Tyler Reddick versus Ty Gibbs. I say both of those matchups will be pretty good. Maybe Ty Dillon can pull by Nemechek. Nemechek having good runs lately. He could still beat Ty Dillon. Reddick versus Gibbs, that'll be a good one to watch nonetheless. And 36-4-36 to wrap up our episode here. We both picked Michael McDowell. We both gained 33 points. So nothing changes there. I have 419 points. And my brother has 523. So still 96 points back. But it's better to keep the same gap than lose. So we'll see what happens at Dover. I'm not going to guarantee I get the short out this week. But we will still continue the 36-4-36. But yeah, that'll do it. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time whenever that time comes. I'll see you next time. And have a great rest of your day.